Hey everybody,
Hi,
welcome
everybody.
back to our channel. We are back from the grand, I guess it's a grand reopening,
Reopening
the
of
reopening
the reopening of
of,
Disney.
of the Disney Resort in Anaheim. I'm sure you all know that already. You've probably seen our videos from Anaheim this past Friday for the reopening. Um, we just wanted to share a quick video with you with some kind of tips in the post April 30th days at Disneyland, at the resort, for Disneyland and California Adventure. We think that some of this is important, and if you're getting ready to go there, we do have some good suggestions and tips to make the most of your trip to the Disneyland Resort. And just as a reminder, I know you're tired of hearing it from us, but if you have not yet already subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. We make new content at least once a week. This week was a big week. We put out a lot of stuff because of the opening of Disney Park. But subscribe to our channel, help us out. We're trying to get to the point where we can live stream. We're getting there. We need 1,000 subscribers in order to live stream, and hopefully we can get there. So we appreciate all the support. If you can like our videos and subscribe to our channel. Enough said. All right, so here is what we think are some of the most important things that you can do to make the most of your trip to Disneyland now that they've reopened. Some of this is different from the pre-COVID Disneyland. There's some new, just based on the new things that they're doing, we think that these are important. So number one, the most important thing. This is definitely
the number one.
The most important thing that you can do. And if you're a Disney person, you probably already know this. But if not, make sure that you download the Disney app and have it on your phone. You are going to need it. And in a couple of the other things that we're going to talk about today, we're going to tell you why you need the Disney app. I'm telling you, if you do not have the Disney app and you're going to Disneyland, download it before you get there. Before you get there.
Yep.
Don't wait until that day. Don't wait until that morning. Download it now.
Yeah.
If you have a trip, if you're planning a trip to Disneyland, download the app right now.
The reason we say download it now while you're at home, because the Wi-Fi at Disney is really sketchy and your phone will run really slow and it'll just drain your battery. So we just want you to make sure you're up and running before you get going on. So download the app.
There's a lot of people at Disneyland, so your phones run a little bit slower. So make sure you have the app. And there's going to be another important reason. We're going to talk about something that everybody wants to know about, and that's the rise of the resistance. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that's going to be one of the number one reasons that you're going to need the app. And there's other reasons too.
Yep.
So make sure you download the Disney app. That is number one of most important things. Number two, parking. If you are staying at one of the hotels that is near Disneyland and you can walk there, we highly recommend that you leave your car at the hotel and walk to Disneyland.
Yeah.
You can park at the Mickey and Friends parking structure. That is open. Toy Story lot, I don't believe is open because they're doing vaccinations there. But the Mickey and Friends parking structure is open. But the difference is this year, or at least right now, it'll change in the future, but as of right now, as of today, May 2nd, there is no tram service from the Mickey and Friends parking structure.
So you would have to walk.
Yes, you have to walk. So if you're used to parking in the Mickey and Friends parking lot and going downstairs, boarding the tram and having the tram whisk you away basically to the front gates, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to walk from the parking structure to the parks through downtown Disney. So it's not super close. So if you don't mind walking, it's not terrible. We normally actually at the end of the nights, when we've parked at the Mickey and Friends structure before, we normally walk through downtown Disney and walk back. It's not terrible, but if you're not used to walking, or you were thinking that you were going to be able to take the tram, you're not going to be able to take it. Yeah. So just keep that in mind. If you're staying nearby the Disney Resort at one of the hotels, find out if it's okay if you leave your car there, or if you're spending the night, the second night, just leave your car there and walk. I'm telling you, it'll save you time, and there is no shuttle service. So just make sure that you have that expectation already set. The other thing about hotels, quickly, is that Also keep this in mind that right now that many of the hotels that you might be booking at, if they include breakfast, just remember that right now during the pandemic, during COVID, the pandemic, a lot of the hotels are not serving like the breakfast that you would be expecting.
Yeah.
Some of them have like a grab and go breakfast, and some of them don't have a breakfast at all. So you might want to check with the hotels and see what the breakfast situation is, because if you're going to the park early in the morning and you're expecting to eat like a breakfast at the hotel, you might need to make alternate plans.
So don't expect those pancakes.
Yeah, there's an IHOP right across the street from Disneyland and the Disneyland Resort, and you can always go there. There's a lot of food options there, but if the hotel is not serving breakfast, just remember that you should make an alternate plan. So parking. So try to park at the hotel if you're staying close, and you can just walk over to the Disneyland Resort. Arrival times. All right, so we went on Friday, obviously, for the first day of Disneyland being back open again to the public, and we wanted to go early. They have limited hours right now, and we'll talk about the hours here in just a second. But right now, the Disneyland Resort is open from 9 a.m. until 7 p.m. So they close a lot early. If you're used to going and Disneyland closing at midnight, California Adventure closing at 10 o'clock, that's not the situation right now. So they are open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. right now. They are expanding the hours, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But make sure that you plan your day accordingly. And if you're used to going a little later, because the parks are open later, remember that they do close earlier. They close at 7 o'clock right now. Yep. So we on Friday, on the 30th, so the first day of being open, we expected a lot of people and big crowds, and there was a lot of people at the entrances and big crowds. And I know that some people arrived super early, like 5 o'clock in the morning for the 9 a.m. open.
Not me.
We didn't. We had planned all along to arrive at around 7, which is way earlier than we normally would go to Disney, even when the parks opened at 8. But we we wanted to be a part of this, being special, and the reopening of the parks. So we got there at 7, and we could have gotten there probably at 8. We could have gotten there probably a little bit later. So the lines were really super long. We walked from the hotel and we came into Harbor Boulevard entrance to the Disney park. And when we first got there, there was a very long line that we were in, but it moved really, really fast. As soon as they opened the gates, the line moved super fast. So don't worry about the lines. They're spaced out for social distancing, and it's not that big of a deal. Yeah. So if you see a big line, don't worry about getting in it, because they move really, really fast. So you don't have to get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's what we're saying. But I recommend getting there when the park opens, just because of the limited hours. So I think as long as you're there by 8:30, you're probably in pretty good shape. All right. We talked first about the Disney app, about the reason you need the Disney app. So here is another reason you need the Disney app: dining and food purchases. If you have a trip planned right now to go to Disneyland, and it's in the future, I would make sure that you download the Disney app right now. If you want to eat at a certain restaurant, I highly recommend that you go online. You need to make a reservation ahead of time. They go really fast, especially right now with the way that the seating is separated and distanced. The reservations go really fast, and limited seating. So if you have your heart set on going to a restaurant, you better go in the app, make sure that they have a reservation available, and book it immediately, because they go super fast. Yeah. The other thing about dining is that let's say you don't have anything in mind, you're not really planning on making a reservation. Oh, and by the way, the dining reservations, that's not just for in the park, but also for downtown Disney. There's a lot of restaurants in downtown Disney. And when we went, we ate at Uva Bar, which is in downtown Disney. It's kind of in the middle. It's like a circular area with yellow umbrellas. And we made a reservation to eat there. If we hadn't had a reservation, the wait time was really long to get in. So definitely make a reservation. And you might not be able to get the restaurant that you want. I'm just telling you right now, because they go very, very fast. Very fast, the reservations.
So don't get upset if you can't get the reservation.
Yeah. If you can't get the reservation you want, just know that someday down the road it'll be different. But right now, make sure that you make a reservation ahead of time. And the other thing about dining is that when you're in the parks, either California Adventure or Disneyland, if you just want to eat quick service dining, you have to mobile order. Yeah. You can't walk up to the register and order. So you have to have the app in order to do that. And you can mobile order all your food right on the app. You can actually even select a time that's way out in the future. So what we did was, when we got there, we wanted to eat at Flo's Diner. Well, they didn't open until 10:30.
11.
So I think it was 10:30. It might have been 11. It was 10:30 or
11.
11. So what we did was right when we got there, right when we got into the park, like at 8:30, we went onto the app and we mobile ordered our food for 11:30, so that we can have so our lunch would be ready at 11:30. So you can do that. You can mobile order your food ahead of time, or if you want. When you go into the app, you're going to see that everything has like an arrival window. So if you really have your heart set on getting something, let's say you want to get a Dole Whip. Everybody wants to get a Dole Whip, including me. Everybody wants to get a Dole Whip at Disneyland. If you just want to, if you're like, oh, I want to go get a Dole Whip right now, I'm telling you right now, when we were there, we were like, oh, let's go get a Dole Whip. So we opened up the app. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. We opened up the app, and the first time that we could go get a Dole Whip was 5:30. So just keep that in mind. You might not be able to just go get your Dole Whip. So order your stuff ahead of time. That's another really important reason we're having the Disney app. Dining reservations, and you're going to need it to mobile order your food when you're in the park.
And also, you're also going to need it to make purchases if you want to make purchases. Like if you don't want to stand in the long line at the World of Disney, you would also need the app to also make purchases on that as well. So
you don't need it. You don't have to have it. It makes it a lot easier. There's long lines in the World of Disney, and right now the World of Disney has an option on the app where you can mobile checkout. You can just scan everything as you go and just pay on your card, and you just go. And when you go to the door, they've got bags and everything, and they just check your phone, check your order, and out you go, and you don't have to wait in the long lines. And I'll say this about the mobile checkout at the World of Disney. It's super easy. It's really quick.
Convenient.
It's super convenient. When we were there, the lines were super long, and there was nobody utilizing mobile checkout. When you go to the mobile checkout, at the end, they have like a big computer screen that's sitting right there, and on that computer screen, it's got a list of all of the names of people that are coming to check out. There was nobody on there except for us, so we were the only people that were using mobile checkout. So it saves you a ton of time. So highly recommend. You got to have the Disney app. I'm telling you, if you don't get anything else from this video, get that you need to have the Disney app on your phone before you go on your trip. All right, ride wait times. So right now, and this is subject to change, based on the California's blueprint for reopening the economy, and I don't know what's going to happen on June 15th. On June 15th, the state of California is supposed to remove like all the tier structures and the way that it's set up right now, and reopen everything without, there won't be purple and blue and purple and yellow and orange and all the tiers we have right now. That's supposed to go away on June 15th. So I don't know what that's going to do for capacity restrictions for Disney. I'm not sure if Disney is going to just open everything up. I doubt it. But when we were there, so we were there on the opening day, they're only allowed to have 25% capacity right now, 25% capacity. So it's pretty incredible to be there with only 25% capacity. Basically, there was no wait times for any rides. You just walked right on to any ride you wanted to. We were able to do everything that we wanted to do in both California Adventure and Disneyland Park.
All in one day.
In one day, with no problem. We were only there on Friday, and then we left. We were only there for one day, and we did everything we wanted to do on Friday because there was no lines for any of the attractions.
And we got to eat everything that we wanted to eat.
We got to get everything we wanted. Just real quick back out of the dining. There was a couple of instances where we just wanted to get something to drink. It was really warm on Friday, and the arrival times were like way out into the future. And we asked some of the cast members who were out in front of they have a cast member like out in front of each of the establishments saying, hey, do you have a reservation? Is it your time to pick up your food? And we asked twice, we did this, where we just went up and said, man, your arrival time is like 3 hours from now. We just want to buy a Coke. Is that cool? And they would let us go in and do it. So just keep that in mind. If you're just buying like a bottled water or a soda, they might let you just go in and get it. But if you're getting a bunch of stuff, I'm telling you, they're not going to let you do it. You have to mobile order it.
Also, keep in mind that they're not taking cash; they're only taking credit.
Yeah, no cash, no cash.
So no cash at all. So it's all contactless payments right now. So
you have to have a debit card, a credit card, a gift card, a Disney gift card, any of that, but no cash.
But no cash.
So the wait times were amazing. Everything was just a walk on. That was awesome. If you watch one of our videos, it's not the greatest video we've ever made because it's the Haunted Mansion, and we're just using our phone, so the quality is probably not the greatest, but part of it is okay. We got to go through a special back door, and that was really, really cool. We'd never done that before.
That was amazing.
Ralph had the cast member asked Ralph to go over to the crypt door, and he told him if the door was closed, he had to knock on the door. So we had to knock on the door, and the cast member came out and got us. Took us right down the stairways, and we went right onto the ride. We basically bypassed the line. There was a small line for Haunted Mansion. We bypassed the whole line by going that way, and it was really cool because it was a part of the park we hadn't seen before. Even though we didn't get to do the stretching room, it was still cool because we've done the stretching room before. This was something new that we've never done before. So that was pretty awesome. All right. The last thing that we'll talk about here on this video, as far as tips and tricks for Disneyland Resort now that they're reopened, and the one thing that probably every single person that we have talked to has asked us about this. Every single person that knows that we went to Disneyland on Friday for the reopening has asked us about this, and that is, how do I get to ride the Rise of the Resistance in Galaxy's Edge?
Yep.
How do I get a boarding pass? How do I get a time? Can I just go over there and ride the ride? If there's not very many people there, do you just go get in line? How do I get on? I want to get on. And obviously that ride is in high demand, right? So that is the ride that everybody wants to ride. And especially right now with the lower capacity, before it was almost virtually impossible to get a ride time unless you were in the park right when they opened and were on your phone and ready to go. So we were able to ride. We got to go on Rise of the Resistance. Now, there's two ways that you can ride the ride. So the first way, so when we went on Friday, we had a park hopper ticket, and our reservation was for California Adventure. So that meant that we had to start our day in Disney's California Adventure, and then at 1 p.m. we could then go to Disneyland with using the park hopper feature. But we had to start the day in California Adventure because that's where our reservation was.
Yeah.
So that's what we did. We started our day there. Now, if you're like us and you have a park hopper ticket and you are starting your day in California Adventure, there's only one way that you can get on Rise of the Resistance. One way, and that is at 12 noon. They release boarding passes for people who are in both parks. So if you start your day in California Adventure and you are going to go over to Disneyland with a park hopper, make sure at 12 o'clock that you are on the Disney app. Another reason that you have to have the Disney app. If you don't have the Disney app, you cannot ride Rise of the Resistance. You can't do it because you have to have the Disney app in order to ride it. So here's what you have to do first, and then I'll tell you about how it works. Here's what you have to do first before you do anything. You have to designate one person in your group who's going to be responsible for this. That person has to scan in the Disney app every person in your group who wants to go on Rise of the Resistance. That person has to scan their ticket into their app, or else they're not going to be able to, or you won't be able to go with them unless you have multiple people doing it. So I would recommend that you designate one person who's kind of in charge of getting Rise of the Resistance boarding passes.
Yep.
That person scans everybody else's ticket into their app. That way they're ready to go. All right, so here's the process. So if you're like us and you have a park hopper, what I did was I set the alarm on my phone for 11:55 a.m. 11:55, 5 minutes before before they were going to release it. And what I did was at 11:55 when my alarm went off, I went onto the app and I opened up you'll see it's very clear in the app. It's in the middle. It's got the huge risers. It's very clear. It's very self-explanatory. I opened it up and I just continually refreshed the page for 5 minutes. Right at 12 o'clock, it popped up. It gave me a return boarding time. We were in boarding group 122, which was actually a backup boarding group. So I'm telling you, these go fast. These go really, really fast because we were on there immediately and we got a backup boarding group, which was boarding group 122. We were able to go. I'll explain how that works in a second. All right, the second, I said there's two ways that you can get a boarding pass. If you have a one park ticket and you're only going to be at California Adventure, you can't get a boarding pass. You can't go on Rise of the Resistance. If you have a one park ticket and you're going to be at Disneyland, or if you have a park hopper ticket and your reservation is for Disneyland, that means that you have to start your day in Disneyland Park, and then you can park hop to California Adventure after 1 o'clock. If you have a park hopper ticket and your day starts at Disneyland in the morning at 7 a.m., so set your alarm for 6:55 a.m. I'm telling you, they go fast. Set your alarm for 6:55 a.m. You do not have to be in the park. You can do it from your hotel. You can do it from your car. You can do it from the road. You can do it from anywhere. You do not have to be in the park. So, 6:55 a.m., set your alarm. Start refreshing the page immediately. At 7 o'clock, hopefully it'll pop up and you'll be able to get a boarding time. What happens is the person who has all the tickets scanned into their phone, it's going to pop up and it's going to bring a list of all the tickets. You just have to click on the ones. I think they're all automatically clicked. You have to unclick if there's anybody who's not going, or if you're a legacy annual pass holder, that ticket or annual, your legacy pass is attached to your account, so you have to unclick that in the list of people, because it's not a ticket. Your legacy pass can't get a boarding time. So you have to make sure that everyone that wants to go is checked, and then you click the button, and then it'll bring up that you're in the queue. It'll give you a time, and then it should have if you're not in a backup queue, it'll give you an estimated time. It's just an estimate. And then as the day goes, they'll call boarding groups. It'll come up in the app when it's your turn to go over. You have 1 hour from the moment that your boarding group is called to go and get on the ride. If it expires, and you can't go. So it'll pop up. It's pretty self-explanatory in the app that it pops up. And then when you get to the ride, you have to click a little button, and it brings up like a ticket. It looks like a ticket on your phone, and it's got like a Star Wars. It's got like a Star Wars logo on it, and then you just show that to the cast member, and they'll scan it, and then you'll be in. And so we were able to do it. We had a backup boarding pass. We were in boarding group 122, but we were able to get on we got on at 6:11. No, 5:11. If we got called at 5:11 and we had an hour, we had until 6:11 to get in. So it worked for us. So basically, when you get to the ride here, this is what it looks like. That's what the ticket looks like when you get to the ride, and it has your group number. And then they scan the barcode right here when you get to the ride. And then after you've made your reservation, this is what pops up on your screen. It shows you the ride. It shows you what boarding group you're in. And when you get to the ride, you click the little view code, and then it brings up those tickets. And when it's your turn to ride, you can't go before, you can't go after. You have to go right when they call you. And like I said, you have 1 hour after it's done. So in the Disney app, just real quick, and then we'll let you guys go. In the Disney app, here's the Disney app on my phone. All right, it's right here. Star Wars: Rise of the Resistance. This is where you go. Sorry, it's blurry. Let's see if I can make it not blurry. You just click Join Boarding Group. You click that, and if it was time, it would give you it would go on, and then you'd click your thing. You click your names, and it would assign you a boarding group if you got in. So I'm telling you, if you want to ride that ride, do it early.
I have a question. Where do I go on the app to make a dining reservation?
Oh, if you want to make a dining reservation on the app, it's pretty simple. So from the app right here, there's a little plus button right here. You click the plus button. Show that. So you click the plus button. I'm sorry, you click the little arrows, and it brings up this right here. And then, I'm sorry, it's blurry. But then there's an option right here for. There's this option right here, which is for mobile food orders, and that's how you order your food if you're in the park. And then if you want to make a dining reservation, you click the plus on the bottom. It brings up this menu right here, and check dining availability is on my screen. It's the very first one right here. So you check that. You enter the number of people in your group, and then let me just pick a date. I'll pick May 25th, and I'll pick dinner. And when you do, it brings up all of the restaurants that have availability for dinner for the day that you select. And then you just select your time, and then you make your reservation. So make sure you download the Disney app. Super important. So we hope that some of that helps you, and that you are able to go to Disneyland and enjoy yourself. It was an amazing time on Friday having them reopen. Oh, the last thing.
One thing.
Oh, yes.
You only need one reservation for both parks. One reservation, not 2 different reservations for 2 different parks. You need just one reservation for both parks.
If you have a park hopper,
If
you
you
just
have a
need
park
one reservation for either park, and whatever reservation you have to start in that park. So if you have a reservation for California Adventure, you have to start there. If you have a reservation for Disneyland, you have to start there. But you don't need a reservation for both with a park hopper.
You just need one reservation for both parks if you have a park hopper.
And then the last thing I was going to say, because I forgot to mention this, is that they are expanding their hours. So right now, Disneyland and California Adventure are both open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. On May 14th, those hours change, and the parks will be open from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So they're adding 2 hours, so that's a good thing. I don't know if they're increasing capacity, but they are increasing their hours to 9 p.m. So hopefully we'll get back up to the days where they were open till 11 o'clock, midnight. Those are the days we like, because we used to like to be there late. And also, the last thing that I'll just remind everybody about, June 4th, the Avengers campus opens at Disney's California Adventure. That will open on June 4th. I think the reservations are getting pretty slim for that day. I think that there's none left for California Adventure.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I looked earlier. And the other thing about, you do have to have a ticket. You do have to have a reservation to get into the parks. And right now, at least the last that I checked, in June, like all the Saturdays are gone. There's a couple of days here and there that are gone, but mostly there's availability. May and June, though, Saturdays are pretty tough. There's not very much availability. And they're going to start opening up, I think, more dates here as we go along. So we hope that everybody is able to go and check out Disneyland Resort. It was so much fun. And it was really awesome to be there and to just see all the cast members. And everybody was having a great time with the parks back open again after being closed for more than a year. We felt like it was kind of like being a part of history because hopefully, as somebody said when we were in the park, hopefully they'll never have to reopen the park again. Hopefully that's the last time they ever have to reopen. They'll be open forever. So make your reservation, get your tickets, go down and have a great time. You'll really enjoy yourself. Download the Disney app, and if you guys have any questions, leave questions in the comments. We'll be more than happy to answer them. And subscribe to our channel, and we made a lot of videos. We have a lot of ride videos from when we were there on Friday. We have a video from when we went in. We've got a couple of videos of that. And we have a lot of other videos too that aren't Disney related. So we're going to try to be at Knott's Berry Farm for their opening. We're going to go to Universal Studios coming up, and we'll make a video from Universal Studios Hollywood. And then next week we'll be out in Arizona and Mexico, and we'll be making some videos from there. So hope you all have a great day, have a great week, and hope you're enjoying our videos, hope you enjoy our content. Once again, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments, or you can email us at brian@bnradventures.com. That email is in our profile. So we really do appreciate everybody that subscribed to our channel and everybody that watches our videos, and we hope you guys are enjoying them. So this is not a goodbye. This is a bye for now. We will see you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.